Welcome to Sheet Leveler. I'm Joanne, and in this video, I'll show you common functions that you will need to know if you are new to Excel or if you have difficulty using functions in Excel. This is a great place to start. Also, don't forget to stick around to the end, as I will show a technique that will make it simpler to work with any kind of function with a hidden Excel feature. Let's get started. I'm going to be using this data set here to complete all our functions. We have staff, department, and sales. So, to start any formula or function in Excel, we will always begin by typing an equal sign. Let's select this top number here. Now, at this stage, you can use any typical mathematical operations that you're used to. So, for instance, the plus sign for addition, minus sign for subtraction, / for divide, and finally, the asterisk sign for multiplication. Once select your typical mathematical operations, in this case, we will enter the plus sign. You can select a second cell, followed by hitting the Enter key. You will get your total of this cell plus this cell. While this is great, adding functions and formulas can quicken up the process. So, let's start with our first function, the sum function. As we have already discovered, we need to begin a function by typing an equal sign. Then you want to type out the function, in this case, sum. You will see this large list of different functions. We want to select the function by clicking on it or pressing the Tab key. At this stage, we can select different cells, but we want to sum all the sales here, so we want to select this whole range. So, place your mouse at the top of the range and click and drag down to the bottom of the range you want to sum. With the range selected, add a closing bracket and hit Enter. We now have the sum of this entire range. Now, the sum function can be achieved without manually inputting like we just did. Let's delete that sum. Now hold down Alt and press the equals sign, and this will automatically sum this range. We just need to make sure the range is correct, which it is. So we can press Enter and we have our sum. Before we move on to the next function, I mentioned at the start about a hidden Excel feature. Well, if you are new to Excel, how will you know the name of a particular function is to carry out a task? For instance, you may start typing ADD and there is no ADD function. There is help at hand. Head over to the Formulas tab here. From the Formulas tab, select Insert function here. Now, we will get this pop-up window, which can help us find a particular function. For example, if you want to add values together, type a description of what you want to do into the search bar. Excel will offer a list of suggested functions that you can click on for more information. So, as you can see here, sum, and the description of what the sum function does here. This feature is great for finding the right function to accomplish a task if you are unsure of its name. We have an additional feature that can be extremely beneficial when performing functions, but we can discuss that in more detail later. For now, let's move on to our next function, which will be to find the average of all the sales. Let's find the average now. To do this, let's start the function by typing the equals key. Then type the function average into the cell and then press Tab to select it. Now highlight the range of cells I want to use, add a closing bracket and press Enter. And we have the average. Next, let's find the smallest or minimum number of all our sales. Let's start the function by typing the equals key. Then type the function min into the cell and then press Tab to select it. Now highlight the range of cells I want to use, add a closing bracket and press Enter. And we have the smallest sales figure in our range. What about the largest or maximum number of all our sales? Well, let's find that with the next function. Again, type the equals key. Then type the function max into the cell and then press Tab to select it. Now highlight the range of cells I want to use, add a closing bracket and press Enter. And there we have it, the largest sales figure in our range. We have used sum function to total our sales, But what about the amount of sales? We can do that with the count function, which returns a count of the cells that contain numerical values. As always, start by typing the equals key. Then type the function count into the cell and then press Tab to select it. Now highlight the range of cells I want to use, add a closing bracket and press Enter. And there we have it. We have made 6 sales. If any cell was empty, the function would not count it, as you can see here. What about counting our staff members? Let's use the count function as we just did, but select our staff members as the range. As you can see, the result is 0. The reason for this is that the count function will only count cells that contain numerical values. We need to use a different function to count text. The best function for this is the count a function. So let's give that a try to count our staff members. Again, type the equals key, then type the function count A into the cell and then press Tab to select it. Now highlight the range of cells I want to use, add a closing bracket and press Enter. Here we have the result, 6 members of staff. Perfect. Now the counter function will count a cell that contains a numerical values or text. If we change this name here to a 1, as you can see, the cell is still counted. If we delete this staff member from the list, you can see we have gone from 6 to 5. And this cell has now been counted. We discovered the hidden insert function earlier, which can help you find a function to carry out a task when you don't know its name. Well, let's say the suggested function is avragef. Let's type this function into our sheet. And as you can see here, this function requires average range, criteria range 1 and criteria 1. Now, if you are new to Excel, this may leave you a little lost. Avragef is a more advanced function, but there is help at hand. Press this little FX button here. The function arguments pop-up will appear. This gives us more information about what the function needs. You can even fill it all out within this box. First, this function is asking for average range. We can read the description here for more information. Average range are the actual cells to be used to find the average, which is the sales section of our spreadsheet, so we will select them and move on. Second, we need criteria range 1. Again, we have the description to let us know what this means. Criteria range 1 is the range of cells you want to be evaluated for the particular condition, which is the department section of our spreadsheet for our example. I will select this range. Lastly, to make the function work, we need the criteria. Criteria 1 is the condition or criteria in the form of a number, expression or text that defines which cells will be used to find the average. Now we want to average of our finance. If we have finance in a separate cell, we could select it. However, we don't, so we can type it. As you see when you move out of this box, Excel automatically places the word into quotation marks. The reason for this is any text that is used within a formula is needed to be put into quotation marks. The answer is here already, but we can press OK, and with the assistance of Excel, the function will be completed and inputted into our spreadsheet. So, not only can Excel help you find a function to carry out a task, it can also help you fill out the function correctly. I have many more advanced functions on my channel. I will link to some in the description below to take you to the next level. Is this your first time with me? I'll be more than happy to welcome you to our online community. Hit that subscribe button and join us and learn how to use Excel like a boss. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.